Hey everyone, hope you're all well. Today I wanted to make a video regarding the Flood and how they'll make their grand return during Halo Infinite's campaign, bringing elements of horror back to the Halo franchise. The Flood have always been terrifying, yet iconic to Halo, so 343 need to ensure that their reintroduction is earned, and at the same time, memorable. It's pretty much confirmed that the Flood will be appearing at some point during Halo Infinite's campaign, but for those of you out of the loop or just not aware of why that is, I highly recommend watching my YouTube short, which shows all the evidence suggesting their return. Halo Infinite has been heavily inspired by Halo Combat Evolved in just so many ways, but the main thing I want to touch on is themes. 343 confirmed a while back that Halo Infinite will be taking the core themes from Halo CE, themes of hope, mystery, and wonder, and already from what little of Halo Infinite we've seen so far, we can see that's true. Mystery was something Halo CE did so well, and I really feel like Halo Infinite will follow in the same direction, with Chief exploring on this ancient ring being set a Halo, a ring known for its rich Flood background. There is quite literally so much that 343 can do to create that mysterious and ambiguous vibe. Bungie introduced a horror element when they revealed the Flood during the mission 343 Guilty Spark back in Halo CE, and I've got to say that this mission was pretty much perfect, or should I say the experience is perfect. Due to Halo Infinite being the spiritual successor to Combat Evolved, I can see 343 using this mission as huge inspiration for the Flood's return in Halo Infinite. 343 Guilty Spark was such an amazing mission for so many reasons. The opening was just fantastic. Walking through a foggy swamp with a soft ambient track in the background perfectly set the mood for the rest of the level. The foreshadowing of the Flood when the player walks across the massive tree is so good and spooky because Bungie made them appear as friendlies on the radar, which got everyone alarmed because there were dark shadows running away and definitely weren't Marines. This again goes back to Halo CE's theme of mystery, where throughout 343 Guilty Spark's opening, the player is constantly wondering what the hell is going on, and that's simply because Bungie crafted an incredible storytelling experience, where they didn't tell you anything and rather only showed you bits and pieces of what was going on. So when you do finally encounter this mysterious enemy being the Flood, you get horrified and struck with fear almost instantly, introducing that horror element for the very first time. Now Halo Infinite has been confirmed to have swamp sub-biomes, as well as many others, but we haven't seen a swamp location since 343 Guilty Spark back in Halo CE. So when the campaign art lead of Halo Infinite, who is Justin Dinges, mentioned that Halo Infinite will have different sub-biomes and deliberately mentioned a swampy sub-biome, that got me very excited because swamp biomes with heavy fog, at least in Halo, are very indicative of the Flood. Here's the clip for context.
And so within that biome, you actually find diversity within sub-biomes. So we have some high altitude palettes, we have some more wetland palettes, more swampy wetlands. We also have some war-torn areas. We refer to those as the Deadlands, where you can really see some storytelling going on with the biome itself and maybe what happened on the ring.
That bit right there got me quite interested because not only did he mention swamp sub-biomes, but he also said there will be some Deadlands where you can see some storytelling going on, which was something amazing about Halo CE in general, but mainly the mission 343 Guilty Spark. I think you all can see where we're going with this. I truly think that 343 will introduce the Flood in a very similar manner to 343 Guilty Spark, utilizing a swamp sub-biome to set the ambiguous tone, where Chief will be walking past scattered banished and UNSC forces that have mysteriously fallen. Remember that Halo Infinite is also a spiritual reboot, so the Flood reveal would definitely be unexpected by the majority of newcomers and even older Halo players too. The reason 343 are taking so much inspiration from Halo Combat Evolved is simply because it worked tremendously well back then. And of course, many things will be different in how they set up the spooky atmosphere, because Chief will no doubt have to go inside one of the Palace of Pain Flood facilities that are on Zeta Halo. I have a feeling the overall atmosphere will be very similar to 343 Guilty Spark, where the player walked through the Forerunner facility, seeing bits of the Covenant scattered across the floor, with their bright blue blood sprayed onto the wall. Those are the small details that really amplified the horror experience, and if 343 want to achieve a similar tone, they really need banished corpses and blood everywhere, especially in a Forerunner interior, which really would be perfect for not just the storytelling aspect, but also it would help introduce a horror element, which Halo hasn't had since Halo 3. The biggest concern for 343 will be trying to create a horror storytelling experience if the game is team rated. I'll be honest, I don't think it will be, but it's something that would heavily alter the atmosphere and tone of the Flood's reintroduction to Halo. Again, Halo Infinite is set on Zeta Halo, the Halo ring most known for its Flood background, and the Banished are far more brutal and ruthless than anything we've ever seen from the Covenant, so there's just no way, in my opinion, that this game will be teen rated. I absolutely could be wrong here, and the Flood could still be present with a teen rating, but 343 would surely know that the presence would be pretty lackluster without an M rating. It's important to state that Halo Infinite's campaign will be mainly focused on Master Chief's battle against the Banished. It's even been said by Halo Infinite's lead world designer, John Mulkey, which means the Flood will most likely get reintroduced towards the end of the game, as the next big threat facing both the UNSC and the Banished on the ring. The reason I'm saying that is because Halo Infinite is a 10-year game, which no doubt means the campaign will end with the Flood conflict not getting fully fixed, but more likely temporarily fixed. Cortana and her created forces will be in there somewhere, however I wouldn't be surprised if she uses the Flood on the ring to her advantage, considering she could have the Logic Plague. There's a lot going on, but in truth Halo is at its best when Chief is fighting multiple factions, raising the stakes. It's just crucial 343 ensure the Flood return is both earned and memorable, and I truly think it will be. The ambient track released by 343 in March perfectly sets up a mysterious and ambiguous tone for when we are going through one of the Forerunner interiors on the ring. It perfectly captures the feeling of the Forerunner facilities being far grander and more important than humanity could ever comprehend. This small ambient track gives me so many 343 Guilty Spark memories, as it has the same ominous and ambiguous atmosphere. Take a listen. Just imagine going through what appears to be a swampy setting, leading to a strange Forerunner structure, and then hearing that ambient track as you walk inside, curious, but on high alert, recalling what the Palace of Pain represents. Combine that with some spine-tingling music to set the stage for the Flood reveal, and you've got yourself the perfect reintroduction for the Flood. That's just a small scenario of how it will come together before leading to the grand reveal and return of the Flood. It definitely will be a surprise reveal, because I highly doubt there will be any mention of the Flood on the ring until Chief or the Banished stumble onto them, similar to the Covenant, or of course if Cortana decides to release them. Regardless, the amount of nostalgia and callbacks to Halo Combat Evolved will be crazy when we are playing Halo Infinite's campaign, and using all the evidence I've found, it seems very likely that this is how the Flood will return during Halo Infinite's campaign. Alrighty guys, that's going to wrap it up for today. Let me know how excited you are for the Flood returning in Halo Infinite. I know it will be so special seeing them again. Let's hope their return is memorable yet terrifying, because there's so much 343 can do with them. Anyway fam, thanks so much for watching. Please like the video if you enjoyed, and subscribe if you want to support me that little bit extra. Thanks guys, have a good one.